Now, with all of that in mind, what happens if you failed an AP exam? You can't technically fail. I know I'm going to get post in the comment section about that. But let's say you scored below a 3 on the AP exam. What happens now? Do the universities need to know that you did not so great? Well, I'll give you two options here. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will give you two options, and just make sure that you're consistent and think about it before you choose. So, option number one is to just share your score. Just tell them how you did. But you have to frame it correctly. In the entire college applications process, what most people don't realize is that it's not necessarily about the activities that you did, it's about how you talk about what you did. All right. And it's the same thing whether it's a win or if it's a loss. So, in terms of APs, if you didn't do so well, it's okay. Maybe you find somewhere in your application to talk about it. Sure, you might not have done well in the AP, but you know what? Maybe that's the class you learned how to be resilient. And maybe that's a class where you really learned you upped your skills in whatever that subject is. Maybe that's the class where you learned what it means to be able to study, to actually be able to take notes and organize yourself systematically and then execute on whatever, maybe it was a writing essay, maybe it was this test, whatever project, etc. So think about the lessons you've learned in that class and then emphasize those. Don't look at this loss over here. Instead, look at all the wins you had in this entire year. Okay, it wasn't a short time frame. You had a whole year to ultimately learn, to figure out, to struggle, to go through and, come out of that struggle and so on. So it wasn't meaningless. Let's put it that way. In fact, I failed my AP Lang exam. And it sucked, but you know what? My writing skills, I had such a great teacher. And my writing skills completely shot up that year. If you'd compared my 10th grade writing, because that's when I took AP Lang, to even the year before, there was a vast difference. It could have been written by two different people. Okay? So it was worth it. It was worth it for me to go through that experience. And the teacher was amazing. But yeah, I didn't get the college credit for it. So that's okay. But main point is it depends on how you frame it. What story are you telling around this failure? And if it's even worth addressing. If it's just one score that you didn't do so well on, leave it alone. You can mention it in your application, but you don't have to spend you don't have to give it any airtime. Just move on. Okay?